Welcome back to the Raiders franchise on YouTube. I am Vinny from vdubproductions, and it is week 1 of the regular season as the Las Vegas Raiders will play host to the Miami Dolphins. I do want to give a shout out to my buddies Real Sports Videos, aka RSV, and Franchise Gaming, who does content on YouTube and as Twitch as well here. I'll leave the link to his description down below here as we see two rookie head coaches going at it with each other here. As we see Klint Kubiak being hired as from the former offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks, the defending Super Bowl champion Seahawks here, as we see Malik Willis coming out onto the field here. He only had 422 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns here. As we start off here, 1st and 10, we see the handoff over to Devon Achane, and Achane will get there for a 1st down here. Very next play, 1st and 10 for the Dolphins, as you see the snap taken, and that pass is going to be complete to Marvin Mims Jr. for 17 yards. Stukes with the tackle there. Very next play, 1st and 10, right at midfield for the Dolphins here as they're driving right now after 2 plays. They're going to hand it off over to Greg Dulcich, I should say, for 5 yards here. Next play, 2nd and 6. And they're going to hand it off over to Devon Achane again, but there is an injury timeout. Looks like Achane is down, and we see him limping off the field here. And unfortunately for him, season only lasts just a few, or game only lasts a few minutes here. Very next play, 3rd and 4 though, as we see the pass, as Willis is going to get the pass off, and that's going to be incomplete. 4th down, they're going to go for it on 4th down here as we see Willis taking a snap here. Willis under pressure, and Willis is sacked as Isaiah Palomau will have the sack here as they turn it over on downs. As we look at Kirk Cousins here, he only had 1,700 passing yards last season here as we see the first play for the Raiders on offense here as we see Kirk Cousins taking a snap. He'll get the pass. That's going to be complete to Brock Bowers, but it would have been better if it was incomplete because that's a loss for 2 yards. 2 plays later on 3rd and 11 for the Raiders here. You see Cousins. That pass is going to be complete to Jalen Nailor, and Nailor will get the 1st down here after a 20-yard connection. Very next play, 1st and 10 for the Raiders on the 27-yard line of the Dolphins. And they're going to hand it off to Ashton Jeanty. And Jeanty's going to find a hole, and he's going to go for 11 yards, and that's another Raider 1st down. 2 plays later, 2nd and 4 on the Dolphins 10 as they hand it off to Jeanty. And Jeanty's going to get into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. And the Raiders will draw first blood in this season opener game. Dolphins will have it again as we fast forward to 2nd and 12 now as we see Malik Willis's pass is going to be complete to Tutu Atwell for 8 yards. Next play, 3rd and 4 on their own 39-yard line here. As you see Malik Willis, they'll find Ollie Gordon the second for a 1st down as they're at the 49-yard line inside Raiders territory here, 1st and 10 for the Dolphins. And they're going to hand it off over to Ollie Gordon the second once again for only 3 yards this time. However, they lost a few yards, and now it's 3rd and 11 on the very next play. You see that pass over to Ollie Gordon. Oh, he's only going to be for 4 yards, and they're going to be short of the 1st down. However, the Raiders go 3 and out on their next drive, and we see the Raiders with it again here. As we see on 2nd and 11, you see Malik Willis. That pass is going to be complete to Jonnu Smith for 18 yards. And that's a 1st down inside Raiders territory. Next play, they're going to hand it off over to Ollie Gordon the second. He's going to find a hole, and he'll get 15 yards for another Dolphins 1st down. 2 plays later on 2nd and 10 now on the 22-yard line. We see Willis taking the snap. And Willis is going to be sacked for a 2nd time in this game. I believe that is Max Crosby. Mad Max with the sack here. As we now have 3rd and 19, I should say now, as we see Willis's pass is going to be deflected. And I believe Trayvon Stukes will have the deflection there. And they're now going to have to settle for a Riley Patterson 48-yard field goal here. And that is good as the Dolphins are on the board. It's 7-3. We see late in the 1st quarter here now. 1st and 10 for the Raiders, and they're going to hand it off to backup running back Mike Washington Jr., who's going to find a hole, and he's going to get 15 yards there for a first down for the Raiders. Very next play, though, Cousins. Pass is going to be complete to Jalen Naylor. And Naylor has a hole. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. He's going to get into the end zone. And Jalen Naylor, 61-yard touchdown. That's a 61-yard connection from Kirk Cousins to Jalen Naylor. And this 14-3, and that's how the score is going to be at the end of the first quarter here. The Raiders looking really good on both sides of the ball. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit that like, hit the subscribe button as well as we're starting the second quarter. So the Dolphins will start the second quarter off with a new possession here. As we see, that's already going to be a pass complete over to Ollie Gordon the second, and Ollie Gordon the second is going to get passed around the 40-yard line, I should say, for a first down. 2 plays later, 2nd and 8 for the Dolphins here. As you see, Willis, he's going to get that pass. That's going to be complete over to Ollie Gordon once again for 8 yards, and that's a fresh set of downs for the Dolphins here. 1st and 10 now for the very next play for the Dolphins. They're going to hand it off over to Gordon, and Ollie Gordon's been involved so far in this entire drive right now. The next play later, 2nd and 2 inside Raiders territory. You see a little bit of motion here. As you see, Willis taking a snap, and this time he'll find Jonnu Smith, and Jonnu Smith will go 6 yards for a first down. Very next play, 1st and 10 for the Dolphins here, and they're going to hand it off to Ollie Gordon. Once again, he's going to find a hole. He's going to get a first down and more, and I believe he's now inside of the red zone here. As we got 3 plays later, 3rd and 2 on the Raider 11-yard line. Here is snap taken, and well, who else? Ollie Gordon once again. He's going to find a hole, and he's going to get in the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. So the Dolphins will answer that Raider touchdown to end the quarter with a touchdown of their own to start the second quarter here. We fast forward now to 3rd and 11 on the next Raiders possession here on their own 30. As we see Cousins taking a snap. He's going to connect with Jalen Naylor. That's 14 yards for a first down for the Raiders. Very next play here, 1st and 10 on the 44-yard line. As we see here, they're going to take the snap. That's going to hand off to Ashton Genty, and Genty is going to get 6 yards there. 2 plays later, 3rd and 3. Can the Raiders keep the drive going here? As we see a little bit of motion here, as we see the Cousins taking a snap. Cousins is going to get the pass off. He's going to find Jalen Naylor, and that's going to be a 16-yard completion there, and that's going to be another first down for the Raiders here. Very next play, 1st and 10 on the Miami Dolphins 33-yard line. You see Cousins with the snap. He's going to get the pass off. He's going to find Trey Tucker, and Tucker is going to go for 19 yards. That's another first down. 2 plays later, 2nd and 12 now. They're going to hand it off over to Mike Washington Jr. He'll get 8 yards on that run. Next play, 3rd and 4 for the Raiders offense. Going to keep the drive going here. As you see Cousins. And he's able to get that pass off. That's going to be complete to Trey Tucker, as I say, for 4 yards. That sets up 1st and goal. 3 plays later, though, 3rd and goal on the 6 here as we see Cousins with the snap. Pass is going to be complete to Jalen Naylor for a touchdown. The second time these two have connected for a touchdown pass. And the second time in as many drives here as the Raiders extend the lead. Back up by 11 again here as the Dolphins on their first play of the next drive, trailing by 11. They're going to hand it off over to, no, that's not a handoff. That's going to be a pass complete, a catch and run by Ollie Gordon, and that's going to be for 18 yards and a first down. Next play, 1st and 2 on their own 42-yard line. We see Willis taking the snap. Willis, he's going to have the pass. That's going to be complete, but it's going to be a fumble. And who's going to come up with it? It's Raider ball, and I believe that is Bobby Wagner getting the fumble recovery. And I believe, for what I've seen, he also had the forced fumble there. As we're now late in the first half here, we're going to see on a 2nd and 10. That's going to be a handoff to Ashton Genty. And Genty is going to go 12 yards for a first down here. Next play, Cousins going to find Trey Tucker once again for 12 yards. Another first down, but now we got 2 plays later, 2nd and 10 on the 22-yard line as we see Cousins with the pass. Or he's taking a snap. He'll get the pass. That's going to be complete to Brock Bowers for 20 yards. And that's going to set up a 1st and goal now here on the 3-yard line as they're going to hand it off to, Cousins not going to hand it off. He's going to find Jack Besh on a pass, and that's going to be another Raider first down, or another Raider touchdown, I should say. And the Raiders are looking very good in this first half right now, as we're going to bring it to halftime here. It is 28-10 Raiders, and we'll be back with the halftime report coming up. And we look at the halftime report brought to you by EA Sports here for Madden 27 Week 1 here. We start off in Seattle, the defending Super Bowl champions in the Super Bowl 60 rematch, taking on the New England Patriots here. As we see Sam Darnold, he'll get that pass off over to Cooper Kupp, and that is going to be complete. As you see the Cooper Kupp touchdown here, part of a 27-17 victory for the Seattle Seahawks, opening up the defense of their Super Bowl championship with a great start here. And for the defending East AFC champion, not a good start here. And now we head to Indianapolis here, where the Colts taking on the Baltimore Ravens in week number 1 here. As we see a highlight for Jonathan Taylor. It looked like he was going to get stopped. He should have been stopped for a loss there. He's still on his feet here, and he gets into the end zone here. And that was part of a Colts 28-23 victory over the Ravens to start their season off at 1-0 for the Indianapolis Colts. And we stay in the AFC South here, as we have the impact player of week number 1. That is quarterback Cam Ward. We see them in the new Titans uniform here. We look at Cam Ward. There's a touchdown pass. He looked like he went 21 of 36 for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, part of a 37-14 victory over the New York Jets, as Cade Klint got the start for the Jets here. The Titans off to a hot start. And I know that the Sly Cooper mascot looked like mascot was excited here. We see scores around the league, and we're going to go over those scores in depth when we have a little bit more time at the end of the game here. As we start looking at some of the highlights here at this halftime report, the Raiders, as I said, leading it 28-10 here. As we see Jalen Naylor had 5 catches for 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, including we're looking at that 61-yard touchdown catch and run that he had to end the first quarter. We saw that earlier in this video here. Looking at more Jalen Naylor highlights here. He's definitely been the highlight player. The first half of that was his second touchdown catch here. We look at some of the stats here. As I said, 28-10 here. If you like what you see, hit that like and subscribe button, as we're getting ready to start the second half right after this. Starting off the second half here, the Raiders will have the ball first and 10 on their own 27-yard line here. See a little bit of motioning taking place as the snap is taken. They're going to hand it off over to Ashton Jeanty, and Ashton Jeanty's only going to get 5 yards on that run. Next play, 2nd and 5 on the 32-yard line for the Raiders. As you see the snap taken, you see Kirk Cousins. He's going to get that pass. That's going to be complete to Jalen. Oh, no, that's actually a rush, actually, on a jet sweep. Jalen Naylor does go 12 yards there for a fresh set of downs here. 2 plays later, 2nd and 8, snap taken. And we see this time it is an 8-yard rush by Dylan Labe. Sets up 3rd and inches for the Raiders inside Miami territory. And that pass is going to be complete over to Brock Bowers. And Bowers is going to be down after a 21-yard gain. 3 plays later, 3rd and 5 inside the Miami 20-yard line. They're going to hand it off over to Ashton Jeanty for only 3 yards. Sets up 4th and 2. They're going to go for it on 4th down instead of settling for a field goal on the Miami 16-yard line. They're going to hand it off to Jeanty, and Jeanty is stuffed. And that's going to be a turnover on downs against the Raiders, as Miami will take over on their own 15-yard line. We fast forward to 2 plays, the 2nd and 8 now on the 17-yard line. We see the snap taken by Willis, and that pass is going to be complete to Marvin Mims Jr. However, there's an injury timeout there, and we see Marvin Mims is holding his shoulder or holding his other hand, so that's going to be an extended amount of time injury there for Miami here. Next 2 plays later on 2nd and 7. As we see Willis taking a snap. That pass is going to be complete, and that's going to be for 18 yards inside Raider territory for a first down. 2 play in the very next play here, 1st and 10 on the Raider 44-yard line. That pass is going to be complete to Tutu Atwell, and that's going to be another fresh set of downs for the Raiders here. 2 plays later on 2nd and 6 on the 24-yard line. As we see, they're going to hand it off over to Ollie Gordon. Gordon's going to find a hole. He's going to get inside. I believe that's a 6-yard line. That's a goal-to-go situation here. Now we have 3rd and goal on the 11-yard line after a couple of plays that went negative. You see Willis, he's back trying to get out of pressure. He won't get out of pressure, and he's going to eat the turf. I believe that is Jonah Lualu with the sack here. and the Dolphins are going to have to settle for a field goal, and that kick is up from 38 yards out. Riley Patterson's field goal is good. It's 28-13 here. First play of the next drive for the Raiders here on their own 27-yard line. As we see for the Raiders, snap is taken. They're going to hand it off over to Ashton Jeanty, and Jeanty's going to get 11 yards there for the first down. Very next play, 1st and 10, and they're going to hand it off over to Mike Washington Jr., and Washington Jr. is going to get 10 yards. I believe they're now inside Miami territory, but 3rd and 6 now, 3 plays later. Kirk Cousins, this time he's going to eat the turf, and they're going to have to stall the drive there. And that will do it for the 3rd quarter here. Very short 3rd quarter here. It's 28-13, Raiders on top. Get those scores up. Hit that like and subscribe button as we're getting ready to start the 4th quarter. Coming up right after this. Start the 4th quarter here as we fast forward with the Raiders getting the ball again after a 3-and-out by the Dolphins. As you see a handoff over to Ashton Jeanty, and Ashton Jeanty is going to come for 10 yards there, and that's going to be a first down for the Raiders. Next play here, 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Now on the Miami 41-yard line. They're going to hand it off over to Jeanty again, and Genty's going to find room. Oh, look at that move there by Jeanty, and Genty's going to be just around the red zone. As he's now at 98 yards. He picked it up as this game has gone on here. 3 plays later on 3rd and 11. They're going to hand it off to Dylan Labe, and Labe will get 4 yards on that 3rd down run here. And they'll be forced to settle for a 32-yard field goal by Matt Gay. As you see the snap taken, the kick is up, and it is good. And the Raiders now lead at 31-13 here. First play of the next Miami Dolphins possession here. As we see shotgun formation, a little bit of motioning here. As you see the snap taken, we see Willis's pass. That's going to be completed over to Chris Bell for 6 yards. Here, and now we got 2 plays later, 3rd and 4 on the 28 as we see the snap taken. Willis under pressure. I think he could have ran for that, but instead he throws it away, and they won't be punting it. They're going to go for it on 4th down here, 4th and 4. As we see Willis's pass, that's going to be incomplete, intended to Caleb Douglas. And that's going to be a turnover on downs against the Dolphins here, and we fast forward to 2nd and 10 now on the Miami 28-yard line here. They're going to hand it off to Jeanty again. Genty's going to find a hole, and he'll get a first down there. I believe that's 12 yards on that run for Ashton Jeanty. Now we go 3 plays later here. 3rd and 6 on the Dolphins 12. As we see the snap taken, the pass is thrown. That's going to be caught by Trey Tucker for a Raider touchdown. And the lead is now up to 37-13, and it looks like the Raiders are going to run away with this game here in week number 1. As we had Tucker getting his first touchdown catch of the game, first touchdown catch of the season here. Next Dolphins possession, first play on the 25-yard line as we see Ollie Gordon II. He's going to get a 9-yard rush here. Very next play, 2nd and 1 for the Dolphins. As we see Willis, he'll get the pass, and that's going to be thrown. That's going to be complete, and I believe that is the Tutu Atwell, and he'll be tackled right at the 33-yard line here, and a fresh shed of downs. That's a 32-yard catch and run by Atwell here. Very next play on 1st and 10. Dolphins driving here. They see Willis getting a snap up. He'll throw the ball. That's going to be intercepted. And it's going to be Raider ball once again. And I believe it is Taron Johnson will get credit for the interception. And the Raiders are looking now to try to add some more damage here. First play of the drive. 1st and 10 on their own 20. And we're going to see a handoff over to Mike Washington Jr. And that's going to go for 9 yards there. Next play, 2nd and 1 on the 29-yard line here, and they're going to hand it off to Washington Jr. again, and he's going to get 3 yards, but we see Tyler Linderbaum. Tyler Linderbaum, he's going to be going to the sideline at least, so that's good for him. He might return to the game here as we now have the next play here. We see Dylan Labe there. He'll get 8 yards on that first down run. 2nd and 2, the very next play for the Raiders. They're going to hand it off back to Dylan Labe, and Labe will get no yards, but there's an injury timeout, and it looks like that's Trey Tucker that's down. And Tucker is going to run to the locker room here holding his shoulder or something. Very next play, though. 3rd and 2 on their own 40-yard line. Can they keep this drive going here? I see Cousins. He'll get the pass, and that's going to be complete over to Brock Bowers for 3 yards here. Fresh set of downs for the Raiders. 1st and 10 on their own 43-yard line. They're going to hand it off over to Dylan Labe. Labe's going to find a hole. He's going to get a first down and more. Total of 18 yards on that run. 1st and 10 now inside Miami territory. They're going to hand it off to Mike Washington Jr. And Washington Jr. is going to get a 9-yard gain on that run. Very next play, 2nd and 1 in the 31-yard line of the Dolphins. And they're going to hand it off once again to Washington Jr. And he'll get across the line for the first down here. 6 total yards. Very next play, 1st and 10 now. And they're going to hand it off to Ashton Jeanty. Jeanty's going to find a hole. He'll get a first down and more. And that's a total of 14 yards for the Raiders here. 2 plays later, though, 2nd and 4 on the Miami 7-yard line. They're going to hand it off to Dylan Labe. And Labe's going to find a hole. He's going to get into the end zone. That is Dylan Labe's first rushing touchdown of the season, and I don't know why they're not showing him celebrating, but they're showing Kirk Cousins celebrating when it was Labe that got the touchdown, so we'll see the replay here. And the Raiders score over 40 points in this game, and that's where the game's going to end here. The Raiders go to 1-0 on the regular season. They defeat the Dolphins 45-13 here. Great start for the Raiders in this franchise mode, and we're going to see the status of Trey Tucker coming up right after the statistics. Look at the player stats here. We see Kirk Cousins went 17 of 25 for 222 yards, 4 touchdowns with a long of 61 yards. I believe that was to Jalen Naylor. And we have Ashton Jeanty with 24 carries, 127 yards, a touchdown. Mike Washington Jr., 7 carries for 60 yards. Dylan Labe, 7 carries for 49 yards. And we had Naylor that had 1 carry for 12 yards on a jet sweep with Kirk Cousins getting -1. But then we look at receiving stats here. Tucker, 5 catches for 53 yards. He got injured, though. He did have a touchdown catch. Naylor, have yourself a game. 5 receptions for 117 yards, 2 touchdowns. Brock Bowers, 4 catches for 42 yards. Jack Bech actually only had 2 catches for 3 yards, but he did have a touchdown catch. And Michael Mayer, 1 catch for 17 yards. Looking at the blocking stats here, Miller had 5 pancakes. Same with Zune the third, but he allowed 1 sack. Glaze and Linderbaum had 4 pancakes each. Bech, Michael Mayer had 3 each as well. Then we look at some of the stats here for the defense. We had Jeremy Chin with 8 total tackles. Taron Johnson had 12 total tackles, 1 TFL, 1 interception here. Dalton Johnson, the rookie, 4 total tackles here. Then we have Quay Walker, 2 total tackles. Max Crosby had 2 total tackles, 1 TFL, and a sack. Same with Isaiah Palomau. And then we have Kwity Paye, had 3 total tackles. Eric Stokes with 6 total tackles, 2 TFLs. Going down the list here, Malcolm Kuntz with 2 interceptions. And was it Jonah Laulu go back up to Jonah Laulu had a half a sack, as well as Adam Butler. And then we look at the kicking stats-wise. Matt Gay went 1-1 from field goal range, 32 yards, and then he went 6-6 for his extra points here. And then punting-wise, A.J. Cole only had 2 punts in the game, but he had 2 punts for 84 yards, 74 net yards, 1 of them inside the 20. His longest was 43 yards. Some bad news for the Raiders after week 1. Trey Tucker is expected to miss at least minimum of 3 weeks, but they say the length is 6 weeks with broken ribs. And of course, as I mentioned, Justin Shorter is going to be out for the season with that compound foot fracture. Scores in depth here as we start off with the first game of this regular season is a rematch of Super Bowl 60 from back in February. The Seattle Seahawks defeat the Patriots 27-17, so nothing has changed there. From Melbourne, Australia, the Niners defeat the Rams 26-21. Tampa Bay over Cincinnati 24-17. The Saints 20, the Lions 15. Titans all over the Jets 37-14. Colts defeat the Ravens 28-23. Pittsburgh 31, Atlanta 17. The Panthers 26-7 winners over the Chicago Bears. The Browns upset the Jaguars 28-23. Bills squeaked by the Houston Texans 28-24. In a game that we just watched, we saw the Raiders obliterate the Dolphins 45-13. Minnesota all over Green Bay 47-31. The Eagles 44, the Commanders 16. The Chargers win 33-3 over the Arizona Cardinals. The Giants over the Cowboys 38-14 on Sunday Night Football. And on Monday Night Football, the defending AFC West champions still over the Kansas City Chiefs 21-15 to wrap up week number 1. Offensive and defensive player of the weeks for both conferences. Starting off with the American Football Conference, we have Cam Ward from the Tennessee Titans. He went 21-36 for 302 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. He was sacked for 5 times, but he did have 38 rushing yards on 7 carries. While Christian Gonzalez of the Patriots, 8 tackles for 1 interception and 1 pick six as well. On the NFC side, we have Justin Jefferson getting the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. 4 catches for 114 yards. He averaged 28.5 yards per reception, 2 receiving touchdowns, and he even had 1 carry for 99 rushing yards and for a touchdown here. And then we have Lovo from the Atlanta Falcons now. He had 14 total tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. And in our next video, the Raiders are on the road. They play their first AFC West opponent there at the Los Angeles Chargers. Both teams are 1-0 on the season here. As you saw, the Raiders getting 45-13 win over the Miami Dolphins. As you looked at the out-of-town scoreboard here, so the Chargers with a 33-3 win. As we look at over the Cardinals, as you see, Justin Herbert had 194 passing yards and 1 touchdown pass. Look at that, Khalil Mack, the right edge, 7 tackles and 2 TFLs there. And so it will be the Raiders and the Chargers in an old AFC West rivalry match. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit that like button, hit the comment on this video, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet, so you can see more Raiders content as well as my Sacramento State Dynasty content, as we're getting ready to start Season 2 pretty soon. And in the description down below will be a link to my Cash App, as well as where you can follow me on X and Instagram. And with that, I am Vinny from vdubproductions, and I am signing off.